Today we're going to be learning about phrasal verbs. And now, before you start to freak out, I know that phrasal verbs are very difficult, and I know that you hate phrasal verbs, but it is very important to learn them because phrasal verbs are all over English. So I know it's difficult because some of the phrasal verbs have different meanings just for one phrasal verb. For example, I have one here. Hope you can see it. Take off, right? So take off can mean, for example, to take something off. For example, take your socks off or take your shoes off before coming in the house. So it's to remove something, right? It can also mean to take time off, for example, work, like a coffee break, maybe. So I'm gonna take off 5 minutes, example, right? So that means that you're not gonna work for 5 minutes. Then it's also an informal way to say bye, like I have to take off to work instead of saying I have to go to work. So this is an informal way to say it, but it's very common to say it in English. Then it can also mean to increase something, right? For example, sales. The sales have increased this year. I can say the sales have taken off this year. And another meaning is with airplanes or spaceships, anything that goes in the air. Basically, you can say the plane is taking off in 5 minutes. Or as we have heard it before, when a spaceship is launched, 3, 2, 1, take off. Yeah, I know you remember that. So, as you could also tell in the short examples that I just said, it's a phrasal verb. So you can use it in any tense you want. You can use it in present, you can use it in past, and present perfect. You can use it in any way you want it. We're going to check 3 types of phrasal verbs today. The first type is we need the verb, obviously, and a participle. For the participle, it can be up, on, away. So as you can see, we got the verb, participle, verb, participle, verb, participle. Normally, this is how we make phrasal verbs, but the special thing about this type is that it is never separated, okay? And that we need no object, okay? So what do I mean by no object? It means that I can use these phrasal verbs alone. For example, I can say get up, which means in Spanish, levántate. So here I don't need to say who. I don't need to say get up you. That is incorrect. Or get up he, right? I just say get up and you understand what I want to say. Come on, vamos. I don't say come on you, right? Stand up you. That is not correct. So I do not need an object. So type 2 is obviously the same structure, verb plus a participle, but there is a small difference, big difference, that it can be separated. Second time, we can separate and we need an object, okay? So let's see some examples. We have give up. What do I mean by object again? You have to say, what are you going to give up? You can't just say give up. So you can say give up smoking, give up alcohol, give up sugar, right? So I can say look up. Look up what? It means research. I'm going to look up the new English words or the new English vocabulary words. Put away. I know you might be familiar with put away, like in classes. Put away your cell phone, for example. Pay back. Pay back the money you owe me. Pick up the trash that is on the floor. Call back. Who are you going to call back? Put on what? So this is my object, the what. What am I going to pick up? What are you going to look up? Who are you going to call back? Remember, we kind of saw the object when we were looking over the passive voice. So what do I mean by separate? I could say, for example, pay back the money you owe me, or I can say pay the money you owe me back. Okay, so this is type 3. This means that these verbs are never separated like the first type, but in this case, we do need an object. For example, look after my little sister. Look for my dog that is lost. But as always, we have some troubles. When we have the phrasal verbs that can be separated, we have to be careful with our object, our what, or our who. Put your coat on, right? That is correct. Or I can say put on your coat because this is my phrasal verb, put on. Both of them are correct. Or this is another example, turn the TV off, right? Or I can say turn off the TV. I have to be careful when I have a pronoun. For example, the pronoun that I can use instead of your coat is it, right? The same in the second example. The pronoun that I can use instead of the TV is it. So instead of put your coat on, I can say put it on. Instead of turn the TV off, I can say turn it off, right? And this is correct. But if I use a pronoun, it always, always, always has to be in the middle of the phrasal verb. You cannot put it at the end, like put on it. This is incorrect. Or turn off it. That is incorrect. So if I have a noun or a noun phrase, I can put it in the middle or at the end of the phrasal verb, and it is correct. But if I have a pronoun like I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they, I always have to put it in between the phrasal verb. I do not put it at the end. This is incorrect. And we have come to the end of our phrasal verb class. So yes, phrasal verbs are difficult, they are complicated, but try to learn them and practice them as you go in your daily life. If today you learn that give up is to let go something, then try to use it in your daily conversation. Sometimes it helps to learn them in a certain context or learn them with images. In some occasions, it's very easy to know what they mean because it's very close to the meanings that each word has. For example, stand, parar, up, arriba. So you mean that stand up is pararse, right? So it can help, but this doesn't happen always. We have give up, give dar, up, arriba. It's not like dar arriba. That's weird. So in some cases, knowing what the verb and what the participle mean helps. In some other cases, it really doesn't. So the only way is to practice and learn them as you use it. And well, I hope it has been clear, and I'll see you next time. Bye.